How's it going, YouTube? Welcome back to another most amazing top 10 video. I'm gonna be your host for this one. I'm Landon Dowlatsingh, and welcome back to a brand new video. So today we're gonna investigate some shady and some pretty scary looking houses. So you know what? It's time to buckle up because things are about to get bumpy on this list. This is the top 10 scariest houses that will freak you out. Starting off this list, and at number 10, like we always do, we have this little house that's located on Holland Island in Maryland, USA. This island used to be the home to about 360 residents who were watermen and farmers. But now, for obvious reasons, the island has been abandoned. The harsh winds and tides forced the residents to live on the mainland, but this house is the last survivor. I really hope that only the pelicans are living here because this looks like it would be pretty close to collapsing. I don't know how it managed to survive all of these years because it looks like it needs some serious TLC. And if one big wave comes crashing into it, the whole house is just a goner. A rickety little house takes us into number 9. The little house is known as a tea house built too high. And this little guy is located in Nagano, Japan. This tea house was built on top of 2 chestnut trees that were cut down from a nearby mountain, and then it was transported into this area. The architect decided to build this house for his own personal use. It only has 1 room, and the only way inside of the house is by using a freestanding ladder propped up against one of the trees. I mean, yeah, sounds legit. You would think that the architect would have made some permanent stairs or something, but then on the other hand, maybe he's not a good architect, if he's even an architect. What if the wind blows away your ladder? How the heck are you supposed to get down? But can we also take a look at these 2 little trees that are holding up this house? Hopefully he doesn't have a lot of furniture, or even, throws big parties. Hopefully he doesn't have a lot of friends, because it doesn't look like this thing can hold a lot of weight. Little House on a Rock comes into number 8. Yeah, I think this little house looks pretty cool, but would I want to stay there? Probably not. I feel like any wind speed over 5 kilometers an hour would totally destroy this house. And what if I had some sort of, medical emergency? Nobody would be able to come help. I'd like to say, yeah, hi, I'm a little tiny house on a rock in the middle of the lake. Can you please help me? And they'll be like, how do we help you? At least you wouldn't have to deal with awful neighbors. You don't have any. I guess that's one of the few perks with this tiny little house on this rock. Number 7 takes us over to Russia. This was a little wooden house that was built by a Russian businessman, and it took him 15 years to build. This house used to be known as Russia's highest wooden house, but I guess the guy who built this house didn't see one huge problem with the materials that he was using. Yeah, there's a reason why houses aren't made purely out of wood. First of all, this house is a termite's dream. Second of all, this house is highly flammable. I hope this house didn't have a kitchen because it would be a highly stressful thing if you were to burn, some toast. And as it turns out, back in 2008, the house was condemned as a fire hazard, so a lot of it was pulled down by local government, and then the remaining structure burned to the ground in 2012. Traveling to number 6, we have the Minotaura Monasteries. And this is located in Greece. These buildings were built on top of natural rock pillars during the 15th century. There used to be 24 monasteries, but now only 6 of them are being used today. But back in the day, people could only reach the steep cliffs in a hanging basket or by climbing a flimsy rope ladder. Yeah, no thanks. I don't think I would stuff myself into a little basket and hope that the wind doesn't knock me over on my way up. Thankfully today, these monasteries can be reached by roads, steps, and bridges. The cliff house brings us to number 5. I've never had the desire to live on a frickin' cliff. Nothing good ever comes from being too close to a cliff, so I don't know why an architect would ever want to build this house. Obviously this house isn't real, but could you imagine if it was? I would need a way taller fence and probably a good life insurance policy, to want to live there. Just looking at this picture, it gives me real anxiety. I live in a condo and I struggle with bringing in my groceries, but if you lived over there, I mean, you would literally need to drive up a mountain and carry your groceries through a cave. just to get to your kitchen. So I guess I'll stop complaining now, because there are people in worse off situations. The houses that defy gravity takes us to number 4. I'm already scared of those apartment buildings that have those floating balconies. I don't think I can ever get on board with these houses that look like that they're not supported at all. I don't even think that I would want a house on the ground floor, because I would be way too scared that my neighbors would fall onto my house. Why can't we just build the normal looking houses that are all structurally sound and well supported? Sky lodges brings us to number 3. I'll be the first one to admit that these sky lodges, they look super sick, but you'll never see me in one of those, and you know what? I'll tell you why. In order to get your suite, first you must hike up a 400-meter cliff or hike through an intense trail with the zip lines. Each of these sky lodges measures in about 24 feet in length and 8 feet in height. But you know what? Don't worry. Safety is apparently their #1 priority, so that's why they made an exit portal located in the upper part of your pod. Okay, cool, but if I have to escape my pod, am I forced to sit at the top of this thing? Because it seems pretty dangerous and not something that I would want to ever do. And now, bringing us to number 2, we have this scary looking thing. Do you guys see that little rickety gondola that you would have to take to get into your house? No thanks. I'm pretty good on this one. I'm pretty good with passing. And what's up with the little tiny rock feet holding up this whole thing? What, they couldn't find a sturdier rock chunk out there? I mean, that's not the best piece. Everything at the top looks legit, and then as you travel down, things just get worse. I'll be the first one to say that I think this house is a terrible idea. No one needs to live on a top of a shady looking rock. Here's another cliff house hanging in at number 1. These extremely risky houses are located in Tibet, and it makes me wonder if Tibet is running out of land space. Because why the hell would you want to build a little tiny home on a rickety cliffside where the rocks can plummet at any moment? I can appreciate that they tried to provide these homes with some sort of structure, but you will never see me step foot inside of one of these homes. They look like they're being anchored with just a few posts each. And this is probably how to get into your house. All jokes aside, I hope that an architect inspects the integrity of these homes at least once a week, because I'm seriously stressed out for the people that live there. Well, there you guys have it. Thank you guys so much for watching this most amazing top 10 video. I'll see you guys all in the next one.